What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Lieutenant Skits, and welcome back to War Thunder, and welcome to the XP-55 Ascender. This is a Rank 2, Battle Rating 3.3 American fighter that is a premium fighter, and was probably one of the most controversial, if not the most controversial aircraft about, 8 to 10 months ago. Back then, this aircraft had potentially the most broken flight model in all of War Thunder. You would beat Japanese aircraft in the horizontal with this thing. Just, pull a 12G pullout for no reason. The best examples of this aircraft being so incredibly broken are on Max TVs and Squire Flyer channels. Go ahead and check them out. But after those two videos went up, and after a few more videos on how broken the XP-55 was, it got a massive flight model nerf, and now seems to have been brought much farther into line than it currently was at the time. So where are we now? Well, we're on Berlin on the alternate history map, so it's Allies versus Russians. I climbed out to 15,000 feet, and right now I'm in a perch position over a Lavochkin LA-5F. Now, this is exactly where you're going to want to be over any potential target in the XP-55 for the initial fight. You are going to want to be above them. Always have the energy advantage. Now, this guy, I don't know what he was doing, climbing AFK into the middle of the map, or maybe just checking out to see where my team was, but he never saw me coming until I pulled the trigger. 500 meters out, and I completely ruined this perfect setup that I had. That should have been my first kill, but stealth belts, I aimed poorly. I didn't deserve the kill. So I open him up for a Spitfire. Meanwhile, we have an I-16 iShack moving in 4.5 kilometers out and closing fast. Now, the iShack is a very light and very maneuverable aircraft. It's basically the Russian equivalent of a Zero, especially if that's the Type 27 with the twin Shabak cannons in the wings. 1.3 out, he's closing in for a head-on, roll to the left, and pull hard vertical. Use the target cam. There he is. It is a Type 27, and I heard Shabak firing, so that is a Type 27 iShack with cannons. Zero throttle and landing flaps to stall over on top of him as he stalls out below me. And then back to WEP, pull in the flaps, and dive in. Now, I will easily outdive this iShack in just about anything short of a biplane. 1 kilometer out, closing in fast, he pulls up into the vertical to try to move out of the way. Nice long burst, but once again with the stealth belts, I aim poorly, but he stalled himself out again. Go a little wide in the turn, so I've got room to maneuver. Pull in hard again, combat flaps. Another opportunity, he's pulling into the vertical. Get a good hit, pop his oil cooling systems. That's going to be wreaking havoc for his engine. Once again, he stalls himself out. Now you can see the energy retention on the XP-55, even pulling a vertical loop. I do not go under 350 kilometers an hour. This thing is insane in the vertical. And boom, that is one dead iShack. That is my first kill. Now we've got another fight off in the center of the map, and we've got that LA-5 and the Spitfire down there. I'm betting that a Spitfire at, 1,000 feet should be able to deal with an LA-5F with very little issue. So I'm going to go ahead and leave him to his own business. We've got another I-16 attacking an XP-55 who's on the deck after trying to kill a Peshka, but who gets attacked by an armored car apparently. Now, one thing I want to point out is this is not the normal camo for the XP-55. This is the Starstreaker XP-55 camo made by Jene Durai-Rien on live.warthunder.com. It is an amazing skin. I would highly recommend, if you have the XP-55, go and download it. This thing is friggin' amazing. But we have another I-16 Type 27 moving for a head-on, pull up into the vertical. Unfortunately for me, he is not as silly as his comrade was. He is not going to follow me into the vertical, so zero throttle, combat flaps to roll over, then put it back to WEP and dive back in. 600 meters out, I'm rolling for a position, just trying to get my lead. Not quite enough lead there. Accidentally forget what settings I have my flaps on and rip my flap off, so I have no more flaps. And a beautiful overshoot maneuver by this guy. This guy was a friggin' master with the I-16. Unfortunately, though, he can't keep up with me as I have dive energy on him, so he pulls off, roll it back over. He tries to pull for another head-on. I'm out of position, and the rudders unfortunately don't let me get the nose on target because of how fast I'm moving, so dodge out of the head-on and pull back into the vertical. Again, he cannot follow me. The I-16 just does not have the power to keep with the XP-55 in vertical maneuvers. All I have to do is keep my energy up above his, and he will never be able to touch me. This is basically the US's equivalent of the BF-109E4. He pulls into another vertical head-on. I dip and dodge out of the way. I'm not going to risk my plane in a head-on when I can just stall him out like that and have an easy kill. Easier kill than trying to go into a head-on. Pull in tight underneath, trying to get a shot. Again, no love. Okay. And he's pulling around right on my tail, but after pulling a 180 like that, he's going to be sapped for energy. Pull another vertical loop, and again, just barely above 300 this time because it was a much harder loop, and it was a full 90-degree loop instead of an off-angle loop. Roll in hard, fire the burst, and fireballed. So, really quick shout out to AODB Squadron's enter name in the I-16. He finally gets a shot in me, but as he says in chat in another few seconds, he's out of cannon ammo. It was only with the 30 cals, but like I'm saying right now, that was one hell of a dogfight. He really made me work for that kill. SB2M moving for a head-on with his turrets, pop the water and oil cooling systems in the left engine. Meanwhile, we've got another I-16 Type 27 coming in. Dive underneath and roll hard. Now, I almost get myself killed here. I forget I'm fighting in an XP-55 against an I-16, and I try to enter a maneuvering fight with him. Quickly realize my mistake as he pulls up underneath and stalls behind me. Put my nose down to the ground. He's firing wildly, trying to get a shot on me. Push past 560 kilometers an hour into level, and they're gone. They can do nothing to catch me. That SB2M, he will try to chase after me and spray me down with his turrets, but if he chases me for too long, the oil and the water are just going to kill his engine, and I haven't flown an SB2M in a while, but I'm not confident that it can fly on just one engine. I-16 is just spraying 30 cals all over the place. He's got ammo to spare. Now, I think the I-16, in his efforts to try and get a snipe on me, wasted all of his 20mm ammunition, because he's turning and running and he's going back to base. So with an I-16 on RTB and a wounded SB2M below me, I am more than happy to take this kill and finish my SB2M. Critical hit on the left aileron. He almost looks like he's going in. Get a few more shots in, but I don't fireball the aircraft yet, unfortunately. He drops his bombs in a wild attempt to try to get more performance out of his aircraft. Spraying 30 cals all over the place. He does get a few clips on me, and I try to roll back in, but the Spitfire dives in. Look down again, and SB2M is fireballed. But with the damage I put in, and the fact that he finally crashed, the kill is awarded to me. So, that is my third kill, and now time to move on and find that I-shack. I've still got 17 minutes of fuel, and I've still got plenty of ammunition for these guns. And eventually, we do find the I-shack. Like I said, he returned to base. Now, I do spot a dot up there above, and I haven't figured it out yet, but that is actually the last player on the enemy team, after we take out this I-shack, of course. I haven't figured it out yet, but that's actually another SB2M, and if you look at the team list, you'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly. He's got a bombing score. I don't know how the hell I didn't figure out that that was their other SB2M up there, but it is another I-16 Type 27 down there on the runway, and an SB2M left. That's all their team has left. I'm feeling very confident. Now, I follow a very similar, in fact, the same set of rules as Max TV, as you know, on airfield strafing. I will not strafe a target if they're on the airfield, unless I'm in a ground attacker or a bomber. But this I-16 has made it very evident he is not going to sit on the runway. He is rolling down the runway. Just trying to make sure I don't overspeed and pancake into the concrete on this one. He's very evidently wheels up, so okay. 1 kilometer out, 900 meters. 600, pull the trigger, get a good critical hit on the elevator, miss the second burst, and then third burst executes the aircraft. Dive past the wreckage, and really quick, another shout out to Tygux in his I-16. A lot of respect for you, man. You didn't just sit there on the runway and wait for someone to come in and try to strafe you. You actually took off. I very, very much respect that. Coming in for a landing because I am actually out of ammunition, and This is actually a very quick landing speed for the XP-55. You normally want to land under 250 kilometers an hour with this thing because that's where the landing flaps will really help to pull you up. But as I have no flaps, I'm going to have to put down at about 270, 260. But even on this runway with no landing flaps and just the wheel brakes, I am feeling very confident. The wheel brakes on the XP-55 are spectacular. Look at that. Look at how quickly that speed is just falling away with just these wheel brakes. That is insane. Now, really quickly, while we're here, I'd like to point out that the creator of this skin has done something unique to propeller fighters that I have not seen before, in that they've actually managed to change how the propeller looks while it's spinning. If you noticed, it's got a black and white circle with a red center look to it. It looks very cool. But after taking off, I spotted this, and it took me a couple seconds to realize what it is, but that is actually the other SB2M diving in to try to take out our ground targets. So, well, I can't let him have that, and I'm sitting on 4 kills. So, diving in fast, there's no way in hell that an SB2M is going to outrun an XP-55 at any altitude, any time or place. I will easily keep pace with the SB2M. Trying to give him a fighting chance, though. I am tail sitting on an SB2M, and even though it is only armed with 30 cals, Russian 30 calibers are actually pretty dangerous if he knows how to aim them. Get a critical hit, knock off the rudder. He pulls vertical and into a right turn that just opens up almost the full silhouette of his aircraft. Again, another vertical and a rollover, and at this point, it was just adding icing to the cake and trying to get more points for more shots. And another SB2M down. That is my 5th kill, ace in a day, in the XP-55. And I would like to point out, this was my 3rd battle in the XP-55, and my first time fighting the Russians. And this is a 3.0 battle. So, with that, we were first place on the team with 5 kills. We got Fighter Rescuer, Ground Forces Rescuer, Professional ×5, Shadow Strike Streak ×5, Final Blow, Survivor, and Terror of the Sky. 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7,236 research points. That just goes into the mark of distinction because I have no more U.S. aircraft to research. So the XP-55, it is quite the stellar aircraft, but I feel like it might be a bit low on the battle rating. I think 3.7, maybe 4.0 would be much better for this thing, but that was a 3.0 battle, so I could just be talking out of my ass here. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video, finally getting a new video out. And, yeah, that's basically it. So, thanks a lot for watching. Please like if you did. Comment what you'd like to see next. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And as always, please remember, normal is overrated. I will see you all later. 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure,